One single tree means everything to this Pokemon speedrun. But what makes it so important? Why is reaching this tree the goal? And what secrets does it hold in the first place? Through a quick observation of this tree, it is revealed to be a honey tree in one of the 3 Sinnoh games. But more specifically, in Pokemon Platinum, next to the Valley Windworks building, where in order to get to this tree, we must first battle 10 Pokemon trainers in a row. Most of these trainers have really weak Pokemon, but then there's your rival and Rorik, who are always a problem for any speedrun of Pokemon Platinum. Especially the gym leader who's packing a monstrous Cranidos. Luckily for participants of this speedrun, we happen to be using the starter Pokemon with the fastest clear time possible for Rorik, Turtwig. Compared to Piplup and Chimchar, Turtwig barely needs any extra experience to get the job done, which means we can go quickly and get to the almighty honey tree and source of ultimate power after defeating the evil villains set to take over the story and world of Pokemon Platinum. But to unlock the power of the tree, we must follow the proper steps. First, we must have the correct amount of steps in our Pokewalker, save the game, change the date and time, and wait 11 seconds before starting the game up again. And as fast as we can, head straight to the grass, spin in a circle twice, run to the girl, then finally slather the tree with honey. But just because we use the honey on the tree doesn't mean we're done just yet, because the next step is to run to the grass, catch 3 Pachirisu and a Buizel, run away from 3 Shellos and a Shinx, and finally, the 6-hour wait begins. But what's in the tree that requires this much effort? And why do these steps sound like some of the playground rumors back in the Gen 1 through 3 days, where people would post on GameFAQs the steps to find Mew under the truck or get Deoxys from space? For those itching to figure out the mystery of the Great Tree, I will leave you with 2 clues. The first is that this Pokemon that we're trying to spawn is a Generation 4 Pokemon. The second is that it evolves. If you want to take a guess, leave them now in the comments. Otherwise, all will be revealed in a minute. Or 360 of them to be exact, because we still gotta burn 6 hours. And what better way to burn time than to run around the map and grab a bunch of useful items on the ground, while possibly having a chance to get rare candies from Pachirisu's ability once we level them up to level 21, all in preparation for the Great Tree. The only real problem we'll come across within those 6 hours is the limit to how much we're allowed to progress because of gym badges, HMs, and the Great Tree itself. Because if we went any further without the power of the tree at our side, we'd be breaking the rules of alt main Pokemon speedruns. The TLDR of these rules is essentially, if we can grab this alternate main Pokemon before Gardenia, then we're required to grab it as soon as possible before progressing with the story. And for a honey tree Pokemon, the wait is a minimum of 6 hours for anything to spawn. All because pushing the clock forward doesn't actually speed up the process of spawning a honey tree Pokemon for any game with honey trees in them, including the remakes as far as speedrunners know. But what speedrunners can do is use the power of RNG manipulation to make the process much easier. Through RNG manipulation, we can guarantee which Pokemon spawns as we slab the tree with honey, as well as what spawns afterwards. This makes it so that we can force the game to give us 3 Pachirisu in a row with the pickup ability 100% of the time, on top of a couple of HM friends for Surf and Fly, as well as Pokerus and a Kricketot holding on to a metronome item. Because if we can gather a bunch of rare candies, Pokerus, and the metronome item, the run can be cleared much faster by gathering a bunch of resources in the time that we're forced to dedicate to the almighty tree. And it was at the 8-hour mark of this speedrun that the only person who's ever attempted this run finally got rewarded for their efforts. But what Pokemon could possibly be worth waiting this long for? Combee? Cherum? Heracross? No. If we're to dedicate this many hours of our lives just to a tree, then we need to get the rarest possible Pokemon out of it. And for this specific tree, that Pokemon is Munchlax at a whopping 1%. Munchlax is not a great Pokemon until it evolves, and when it does evolve, it's still not that great for a speedrun. The title for greatest goes to Chimchar and Piplup, so why go this far just to do a speedrun with the slower Pokemon? What's the point? Well, the point is the novelty of having done this crazy run in the first place. While we all have our favorite flavors of ice cream, every now and then you might just want to try a different flavor. And sometimes it's in the journey of trying something different that you experience something magical, weird, or just plain interesting. Because if we always stick to the same routines in life, nothing will ever change for us, and we'll always just pass by this tree, never experiencing the glorious reward that's waiting for us. And for Pokemon speedrunner Etchy, who already has a fantastic time in Pokemon Platinum Glitchless, his flavor of the month happened to be Snorlax. And to emphasize how much work was put into this run, it took Etchy an entire month of research to put this together. All because speedrunning with a Pokemon that has a 1% chance of spawning in one of the worst ways possible is a very rough task to perform. And what's even crazier is that it took Etchy a total of 11 hours and 53 minutes to clear the game with Snorlax as of this video. The many things that made Munchlax this slow is its difficulty on the second, third, and fourth gym, being forced to heal like crazy since Munchlax would typically take damage before it could KO a Pokemon, having a friendship evolution that forced Etchy to use a Munchlax with weak moves like Lick for an entire hour, and having to rely on the move Screech to KO a ton of Pokemon. And even if we didn't include the 7+ hours of trying to get Munchlax to spawn in the first place, Snorlax would finish this run in about 4 hours and 32 minutes, which is about an hour slower than the current world record of Pokemon Platinum any percent glitchless. Because even with moves like Stab Return, Earthquake, Crunch, and Belly Drum, Snorlax just wasn't built to speedrun with. But to be honest, I don't think that should ever stop anyone from trying to use some of their favorite Pokemon for speedrunning purposes. Because at the end of the day, speedrunning should be about more than just going as fast as possible. It should be about having fun too. If you're interested in checking out this run for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description with the video, as well as a link to Etchy's channel. Did you know that Chimchar and Piplup had a massive war to see who was the fastest Pokemon in Platinum? If you want to see how it turned out, check out this video right here and consider subscribing for more Pokemon speedrunning news and content.